So the whole purpose of this is for like beginners, and if you were given a scenario in Java, you would actually be able to complete it. So obviously you won't be able to like, oh for God's sake, you won't be able to like code Minecraft or some garbage, but you should be able to do some basics. So first of all, let's talk about imports. Imports are a thing that you come in, so it starts with import, obviously, java.util. Then whatever you want. I'm obviously using Solidon because some people don't have access to like better stuff in a way, as in stuff such as NetBeans, Visual Studios. So if you want to import something, you use that. So this imports everything. It's no advice to do, but you do it anyway. So first of all, data types, you use int, double, char, string, boolean, and then variable names, num, num1, num2, Jesus, num3, num4. Then obviously data types, so int is obviously an integer, double is obviously any number including decimal numbers, characters is obviously a character or a single thing, string is obviously multiple characters which are stringed together, and boolean is obviously either true or false. And you always have to end it with colons. So now to be able to print something, it is system.out.println. If you were using a actual IDE, it may or may not be able to give you like more stuff, but in this case not really. So for example, to be able to print out a variable is either num and then plus, then num1 plus num2 plus num3 plus num4, and then sure, let's just output something as well. We get rid of the brackets and then it's just lol. Sure? Come, run it. So in this case, obviously it would So obviously incompatible types, characters. Strings cannot be converted into characters, so obviously this is a character and we are using this as a string, so obviously that would not work. But in this case, those are some things that you would need to figure out the logistics of by trying to be able to convert characters actually into strings and then use them as characters later on. Because obviously in this case you always need to be able to use strings. So say if I were to get rid of num2, which you could just as easily turn into a character because most of the time you don't actually need the actual character thing. What happens there is, it helps. This is just like, this isn't going well, is it? I cannot find symbol. What the hell is going on? Like, what am I doing? I was doing fine in this like 3 minutes ago. There we go. Come. So you can't use, that was a good example. You can't use stuff such as the double for character. You have to use a single. So now we're doing simple loops. So for loop, while loop. So int done equals 1. Sure. So now while, and then this has to be in brackets, done does not equal 7, and then instead of the colon there you have to have the curly brackets, done plus plus done. Cool. So what that will do is system.out.println done. Simple. So what this will do is it'll set the variable done to 1, and while done does not equal 7, it will add 1 to done. So this is the add 1. You can also do done plus equals 1. But, oh yeah, I also didn't add the colon on the end of this. Jesus. Pause. And there we go. So it prints 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So obviously because I did the plus plus done here, it would add 1 first and then do it. Okay, so now we do for loops. So let's change done to 10, and now 4, and then brackets again, and then it is int I equals 0, so that sets the variable I to 0, and then it is done no, I is less than, done, then again, and then plus plus I. So that would add add 1 to I after every like loop. So system.out.println I. Cool. Run that. Show you that work. Oh, for God's sake, the colons. So that's one of the most annoying parts about Java are the colons. There we go. Then it goes from 0 to 9 because obviously Java does stuff from 0 to 9, but then it doesn't say equals. So that is for loops done. So now if statements. So there are two types of if statements. I like working with number if statements more. So first of all, let's get an input scanner. Scanner sc equals new scanner, and then that is system.in, and then to set a variable it would be int done equals new int done equals sc dot next int. To be able to do that for like a letter, it would be next line. So now if, and now done equals 7, and then you have to have the curly things, system.out.println nice, and then else if, you need to make sure you end off the if before you put the else if, and else if has to be two different letters. That is system.out.println okay, I guess, and we have to actually put some kind of value in here. So else if done equals 10, and then finally the last one would be else system.out.println you tried. So cool. So what that does is it asks for an input. So we input nothing, we input 1. This won't work because of the space in the middle of these, which is like, for God's sake, and also the obvious colons. So obviously this is showing off how like this can be mildly infuriating after a while if you don't manage to get the colons right, which really annoys us. So in this case, you know, expected here. So does that mean I have an extra one of these? Yes, I do. Of course I do. Where have you come from? Which? Okay, sure. Done equals 7. And then you have to change that to that. I'm obviously putting these syntaxes in to be able to show you debugging. Debugging is something that you will have to get used to, and that is why these are here, and that for no other reason whatsoever. Nice. So that is if statements, else if statements, and else statements. We have done a for loop, we have done while loops, we have done inputs, we've done every type of variable. Oh yeah, strings. So use of strings. So scanner sc equals new scanner, and then it's system.in, and then it is string x equals sc dot next line, because obviously it is a string. So now what can we do in this? So we can set the variable string monkey equals monkey. So now we can do this function if x dot equals, then we can set that to the variable money, yeah, system dot out dot println nice, else, and then curly system dot out dot println fail. Cool. Oh, for God's sake, we have to have the thingy-majiggies. We have to have the colons on the end of these. Really? We have to have the colons on the end of these. Cool. So colons on the end of these. So monkey. We spell monkey normally, and it comes up with fail. And if you put monkey like monarchy. It comes up with nice. Cool. What else can you do with strings? So there are two other basics you can do with strings. So obviously you input the string here. String is x. So what you can do is you can get a character from a specific string. So x dot char add that character at, and then let's say character at 0. So that would get the character at 0 and x. Okay, so system.out.println and then x, and that would print the first letter, and then system.out.println, and now this is x.substring 0, and this would print the first position. So this would be, that would be cool. That would get rid of the first position, so it would only print everything after that. So that would be cool. That'd be cool, because obviously I put a space there. So let's just change that to 5, and then that's okay. I heard that. Yeah. And what that would do is that will start from the 5th one. So that's string manipulation. So the last thing we're actually going to do is we're going to use integers. So int x equals se.next int that. So basic basic integer stuff, plus, minus, times, divide, modulus, and sure we'll do other stuff. So let's just say we have a set value of int done equals 100, sure, and we want to get an input to be able to do certain things: addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc, etc. So in this case what you would do is you would have system.out.println. Actually we won't do that, and then we put the colon on the end of it, because we don't forget colons. We all love colons. It's the only thing that you need in Java. There we go. So first of all, done plus x, that is how you do addition. Then it's done times x, how you do multiplication. Done minus x, how you do subtraction. Done divided by x, how you do division. And then done percentage x modulus function. And now just an extra one, because why not? So say your input is 10, bap, then yeah, so it just prints everything. So now what is the final thing? Well, some of the final things. First of all, one of the final things could be doing this with addition. This is the final part of addition, or just like maths in general, because arithmetic isn't that like intensive in a way. So we can get rid of all of this. We're cutting into our time now, like heavily cutting into our time. And speeds. Oh, we just don't need this one. Okay, so set these to int y equals, int c equals, int p equals, int q equals, and then int e equals. So that's happened. So now we can use these inside other print statements. E.g., for example, you could do system.out.println, and then you can use these new values to be able to do stuff. For example, y plus c divided by q, and then that's all times by c plus p, and then colon on the end of that. And then let's just use that number, big numbers. See, that's expected. Where system output of print, not a statement. So we just, oh, I feel like it doesn't have like the mathematical ability to be able to do that. Exception in thread, arithmetic expectation. Oh, because it's divided by 0. Yeah, that is a problem because Q is obviously 0, but obviously that still works. This is heavily cutting into what I'm just trying to do some simple addition just because I put stupid variable name. There we go, done. And now there are some very basics, one of which is comments. This is a single line comment, and then there is also this. Let me give us a second. Where's the shiny star? There we go. This is a multi-line comment. Then you can do that there. Cool. So now we go into the bits that I can't actually do on Solon. There we go. This is the final. So basically, what you can do here is this is a problem is that NetBeans isn't working. So in this case, how to be able to get file reader. So Java util asterisk will be able to get you that file reader. Then you open the file reader. So my thing was obviously down.txt. Then you use buffer reader to be able to read it. And then you output every line using this. So it's this block of code, and you need a try and catch. Catch is basically say if the file doesn't exist, then it would be able to actually run the thing basically. So it would actually be able to put it out in a way to make sure there's not this like massive issue statement that's released. And then here's the next part. This is how to write to a file, and this is file writer, and then you use the pw_println, and this prints it into the file. Once again, catch. Then there's random numbers, which is done by the math.random function. This is the maximum number, this is the minimum number. The 1 is just there for being pretty, and the 0 is once again the minimum number. So that is basically it. Is there anything else here? For I reverse, basically what that does in string is it like reverses your character. Done on length to gets the length. This was a Piglatina code, so that uses the substring and the character. This was if statements with ors and ands. So this is basically what happens when say like something happens or something happens, then this would be accepted, and would be all of them had to be true. This is some basic converter, so that doesn't really need much explaining. This one is some basic maths with while loops and done loops and stuff like done loops, while do loops, etc. And arrays, basically you can write to a list, and that is done by making a, don't make an array, make an array list, and from that said array list you basically just write to it. So like this, fun.add bought, that's how you add to said list, and it will just save, and then you can get it from the position in that list, and that would basically be it.